So today we will try to create a workflow and we will try to get a gist of scripting in workflow.
Okay.
So again, workflow, we do server-side scripting in the workflows, like server-side classes you can make use of in workflow script.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my requirement is something like if I select here a request type IT, and then if I
Mm-hmm.
select a loaner laptop, I see this select assert and return date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I want, like as soon as someone raise a request for IT, okay, or means as raise a demo request for any type of request, it should immediately go to the manager of this requested for the approval.
Okay.
Second level approval, it should go to kind of, I have a priority matrix in my system. There is like approvals defined, like for IT, there would be one approver, and for HR, there would be some approval. The approval of the second level should go to that matrix. So like I have a matrix like an approval matrix here. So
Okay.
like let me define a approval matrix. So let's say for
So
I
what is this approval matrix used for?
I have just created a custom table. I am just storing some relationship, something like.
But what in general, how we store it? Like who is the approver for which group?
Means it will be given by business only. So like if business want
Okay.
like this request should first level should approval should be done by manager, and second level approval they are giving you like this person and this group should be there for this type of request, and this person this should be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you may end up creating a table where you define all the metrics like this, right?
Okay. So here we have type of request and the approval user.
Yeah, user who like to whom the approval should go, or there is a group to which group the approval should go. So like similarly I can define as per the business requirement. Let's say for HR I want the second level approval should be done for the HR by this user, and maybe just one group.
So you mean to say the mail will be triggered to Alan and also the group members, is it?
Yeah, so it all depends on how you functionality define. So like this is my second level of approval matrix. First level I am saying like as soon as request is getting raised, first level approval by default the requested force manager should be the first level of approval, and the second level of approval should go according to this matrix. So
Okay.
client might give you it in a Excel or any document, like okay I want something like this for the second level approval. Then either you can hard code in your code, or best
Hmm.
way is to create a table and store that in a proper structure, so that in future if approval changes for IT you can update it in the table and code will pick from here directly. If new group comes for the IT, then you can put it here, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
So this
So
table I
this
have created
approval
for.
group is, yeah, this approval group is a reference to group table, right?
Yes.
So we'll create a group there itself if it is not existing.
No, you
And
have to create the group in group table, right? All the groups exist in the group
haha, right, right. So I'm saying if there is no existing group, so we will
table.
create a new group, right?
Yeah,
Where we will send this request for the
yeah,
approval part.
yeah.
Okay. And is it always good to create a new custom table? I mean, is it okay or is there any issue if we create new
Yeah,
custom?
if you have requirement something like that, you need to store this data somewhere. You cannot either you can hard code in the code. That is not good practice. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to change in future, let's say IT approver changes, then you have to change it in the code, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you need to store somewhere in the table. That's to store that data you will have to create the table.
Okay. And is it something like license issue will happen because of custom table? How does it
Yeah,
work?
that could be that again based on your
Hmm.
subscription and all, you will have to be charged.
Oh, okay. Okay. One table will have a cost, right? Or that way?
You have to refer there for that like costing model of service now.
Okay. Okay.
What is it?
All right.
Yeah. So like here I have defined this approval matrix. Now let's design the workflow. So if I go to
Workflow editor.
okay. So I will create a workflow. I will say demo request approval. And then I will have to select my table.
New demo table. So using this workflow, we are just sending the request for the approval, right? No task creation or something.
Yeah, we will create those things as well.
Okay.
So for the approval, you can use the approval activity.
Mm-hmm.
For the first level of approval, I can directly dot work because I have requested for in the my like new demo request table.
Line manager, right? For the line
Yeah.
manager.
Yeah, so I can directly dot work from here. I can say like approval, and then I can select fields here, and I can go to the requested for, click plus icon, and then here I can select manager. So here I can do directly through dot work because the field exists here.
Okay. So that will always be whoever is the person, it will go to his manager.
Yes. Now for the second level approval, we don't have any reference relation for second level approval. Approval matrix is in different table, and I want a approval to be triggered for this particular record. So in that we would
So there is
require
no relation, right, at all
yeah,
for that
no,
approval matrix.
no. So we have to write the script. So again, I will use
Approval user and group, right? Both.
No, I can use the approval group in that I can send for user as well.
Okay.
Approval group, no. I think I have to use user. Which one is this?
And do we need to mention the stage also in the second box, approval user?
Yeah, you can manage those like as per your requirement. You can put the stages and all. Like
Okay.
I go to that one.
So we use scripting in case we don't, we are not able to do the dot walking or select any direct user, right?
Yeah. Okay. So while passing the approver through script, basically you have to pass it like this: answer.post and the sysids of the approvers.
So is this the syntax which it will be available, right? When we click
Yeah,
on
it will be
advanced.
commented, it will be available. Now this ID should be comma separated string of the sysid of the users or group to whom the approval should go.
Okay.
So now as my approvers lie in a approval matrix table, right? So I will have to query those. So again, where
Glide record.
Yeah, I will pick my table.
We'll mention the name of the table here.
Yeah.
Looks like screen is stuck if you are getting those details from the
I
pyramid.
am just getting the table. I'm coming back.
Uh-huh.
So I will put the table here. And then I need to get the approval. Like if you remember, in the matrix, we define the request type and then the approver, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and in our request also, we have the request type,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we come here, here also we have request type. And if we go to new demo table, here also user need to select the request type. So basically my code should look whatever the request type is selected here, the approver should be picked for that particular type from the matrix, right?
But
So
just tell me one thing, if this request type field is common in both the table, right? New demo
hmm,
table and approval
hmm,
matrix.
hmm.
So is it not related now? Can't we use dot walking?
No, dot working only works for reference fields.
Acha. So this is a choice field, you mean to say, right?
Yeah, choice field, that is a different choice on that another table. This is the different choice on in this table. The values are just same, nothing else. So it is identified like this request type, and there also you created a request type so that you can store the approver of correct request type.
Hmm.
So you cannot dot walk. It's just you can get the data from that table for the correct request type. So whatever request type user has selected here, you need to basically query the data of that request type only.
Okay.
So if I go to my workflow, here I need to query my demo this matrix with the current dot request type, and similarly the request type of approval matrix should match with the request type of the request submitted. So now it will, if user has selected IT, then this glide required query will return the IT approval matrix to me.
Okay.
Okay. Now in that I got two things. One is user approval and another one is group approval.
Hmm.
So I will define two variable. ID1 is equal to empty, and then where ID2 is equal to empty. Now what I will do, in ID1 I will store the sys ID of that approval matrix of the user. So like in the I will get one approval matrix based on the request type selected. So if user will select the HR request type, then I will get the HR request type record of the matrix. Now in that I have a one as approver user and another one as the approval group. So in ID1 I will store the sys ID of user. So I will say u underscore approval underscore user. This is the field which saves the user, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in ID2 I will store the sys ID of group. gr dot u underscore approval underscore group. Now this particular variable is having the sys ID of user, and this particular ID2 is having the sys ID of group. And now we are passing these to this approval activity. So we are saying to the approval activity, second level approval just send to this group which is defined in ID2, and we are passing here. And another we are asking like send the approval to the approval user as well, which is defined in ID1. So are you able to get this?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just check the field name if they are correct. Approval user. Correct on the I think. Correct. And approval to. So this is how you pass the approver through script, like where you cannot dot work. The approver is saved in some another place, something like that. You need to glide record where you need to put the correct condition, what record you want to that, and then picking the value of user or a group. I have told you both. I tried to cover both scenario, like how you can pass. So basically those what you need to pass as part of this line post answer dot post and then a variable, it should be the sys ID of the group or user to which you want to send the approval.
Okay.
So every group and every user has a sys ID in service now, right? So
Yes.
that's what I am passing here. So it should
Okay.
always get the sys ID of the user. Now what I will do this. If I reject, I will close it like that. I close it. Let's
That's it, huh? That is all we need to write in case of dynamic approval requirement.
yeah, if this is what you can do using dynamic approval. So basically through a script, whatever you want to write, at end of your script, this line should come and this line should have either sysID of user or sysID of group.
So
Maybe
this code will remain same, right?
this line will remain same. This may change according to your requirement, like where your user lies. In my case, it was in approval matrix. So I queried the approval matrix and I picked the user and group from approval matrix.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, it might be somewhere else for some, maybe some on CI record or somewhere maybe. So you need to query the correct record and get the correct user and approver and pass it to this particular thing. Okay. So
Okay.
now if I go back to my request and I submit a request.
So this approval thing is generally attached to the catalog item, right?
No, it can be approved attached to any table wherever your process. It can be on demand as well. It can be on change as well.
Okay. On incident also, right?
Incident generally we don't have because
Okay.
incident doesn't have a predefined process. You do the automation of things which which has a predefined process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but incident today you are getting laptop incident, tomorrow you are getting keyboard incident. So there is different process for everything. The incident is to
Yeah.
fix something.
Yeah, the main advantage of workflow is to automate the approvals and assignment of tasks to the teams, right?
Yeah, mostly for the automation thing mainly.
Just to save the time, right? By the different services team who will follow up for the approvals and all those things, right?
Yeah, maybe previously it used to be on email or something like that. So
and I mean, if I am service desk and I am receiving a ticket, I will have to go follow up for the approval, right? In catalog task, it will directly go there, and then only once it is approved, we can start working on it. What is this context?
I can see whether my workflow is triggered or not.
So that we can check it through context, huh?
Yeah. Seems it not triggered. Did I close workflow screen? I think so. Here is my workflow.
Did you publish it?
No, it's not. Star.
Approval. I think you did not publish it.
It's not about publish. It should stay in draft state. Yeah, it's here. Right.
From where did you get that? It was not showing.
Here it's available.
Okay.
So I property of I didn't define the trigger condition, so I have to go here and I need to define. So here you make sure like you are defining the condition as well, like run workflow always, or if you have certain conditions, then only workflow will trigger.
So is this not by default?
No, you have to define your conditions. It may vary according to your requirement. You may want only for IT type request workflows to trigger, not for everything. So that's why you can define your own condition. So it can't be standard.
Okay. But generally, when I created workflow, I did not select this condition thing.
I don't like on the recent versions I see you need to assign.
Acha, हो सकता है because we're using Madrid.
Didn't observe that, but yeah, recent version I am seeing this need to be selected. So what I will see.
So we'll create a new request. Request type ID. Owner laptop. This will go for a line manager approval.
Yeah. So it directly went to this user and this group. So let's see. It's like it skipped the first level approval. It's directly went to second level approval.
How come?
So in case of approval, you have to make sure your approver exists. So if we go to use this user
if there is no line manager, then it will skip.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to add manager field here. Configure form layout.
Okay. So manager plus means there is another table called manager?
No, that is a user table only. It refers a record of user table. So user can be manager for another user, right?
So it will get access to all the fields of that table, right? User table.
Yeah.
By clicking on plus. Okay.
Yes. It can access like all the fields of this particular of user table for this particular user.
Okay.
Basically, system admin is a user and the manager field of system admin is referring to another user. Because manager will also be a user only, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So like, let us
create a new request. Yeah.
So I will select. So now it will see now
first
at the
it goes to
first level of
Alfonso.
approval. So if I approve this, it will see. So now it will see now at the first level of approval. So if I approve this, it will see now at the first level of approval. So now it will see now at the first level of approval. So if I approve this, it will switch to second level approval. So if you want to verify, we have raised IT type request, and if we go to metrics,
Matrix.
then
For
for
IT, we
IT
have
type
ATF,
we have Terra and ATF.
Terra, and ATF.
So if I go to
So
my, yeah,
first we have approval user, right? I mean, who will approve first out of these two?
anyone can approve.
So then it will be considered approved, or like one of any approval,
It
or
depends like
both
how you
needs to.
configure. Right now we configure like anyone can approve.
Acha, in that workflow we have mentioned, na?
Yeah. So like it all depends like how you want to be. So like it will trigger all the users of this group plus the user we selected. So if I
So any
approve,
user can approve it.
yeah, anyone can approve. So here now it's like other one is no
No
longer.
longer required. Perfect.
So if like here you got the option. So if I open this one,
Hmm.
let me check out it.
Yeah. Anyone to approve condition there was.
So anyone to approve, or you can select other option like you want everyone to approve. Then, and if you want first response from anyone or any conditional list, like you want 30% user to approve, 50% user to approve, then you have to write this script again.
Okay.
So this is how. Now it's approved, right? Now it will go in the fulfillment stage. Like, think it like a user want a loaner laptop for 10 days or maybe 5
Yes.
days, whatever it is. Then let's say if user has now it goes to a support group, maybe there will be a auto assignment rule in the place. So what that support group user will do, that support group user will select a asset from the asset table, and it will say, okay, I am assigning this asset to the user, right? And he will also put, okay, why when he need to return. Maybe the process might deviate, so I'm just trying to give you a simple high level process. So like he put like, okay, this user need to return it by 9th. Okay, so now my requirement is as soon as a support user fill a assignment, like assign a device to the user and put a return date, the assigned to person of this particular hardware should change by the requested for automatically. So if I go to this asset now, see here assigned to person is someone else, right? But as part of asset management team, how they will come to know like, okay, whether this is assigned to, now as we have assigned this laptop to some other user, right? System admin. Now the asset record should also get update like, okay, now it is assigned to system admin. Either someone come here and do manually, that is the one way, because then only this record is correct, right? If someone comes to the asset table and checks, okay, this computer is assigned to whom, then it should say, okay, it is right now assigned to system admin. Okay, and that is what need to be automated now. Okay, so what basically we need to do, we need to again extend our workflow. So go to workflow. What I will say, after approval, right now the workflow will end, but now I need to ask my workflow to wait for anyone to assign the laptop to the user. So I will say wait for condition. So here I will say wait for assignation. then I will say, okay, for what you need to wait. So I will say assign select asset is not empty. Wait till someone select the asset. So what this will do, this particular activity, where it is one, it will wait for someone to select a asset in that field. So after approval, now my workflow will go here and it will wait for someone to select. Once someone selects, what I need to do, I need to update that asset, right? I need to update that asset with the assigned to user should be like requested for of the request. So I need to update another record. So to update, I need to do the glide record, and to do the glide record, I need to run the script. So I need to use the run script activity. And here I need to write my glide record. So where, because to update, insert, delete, we use glide record. So here we want to update the asset record. So here I will type my table ALM underscore hardware is the table for asset. And then I need to query my asset which I want to update. So I will say sysID of that asset will be similar to the asset selected on my current request. So I will pass here like current dot u underscore select. So I will get that particular asset, and what I will do, I will do gr dot assign to of that asset underscore 2 is equal to current dot u underscore requested for, right? That is what we want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, dot update. You have any doubt in this code?
No, I'll check it actually, and then I will ask you tomorrow.
Okay, so it is simple glide like glide record query and then updating a record which we discussed. So like we, if I go back, if you see here, see this is a asset table, and this record belong to ALM hardware. Now I need to update this assigned to of this record when this record is assigned to a person. So to whom, as a support user, to whom I am assigning? I am assigning this to like system admin. So system admin is the requested for of the request. So as per the process, I just want, like, as soon as this asset as a support user I am assigning to a user, this asset should also get updated with the name of this requested for. Voice is from your side.
Yeah, my wife is also on the call.
Okay. So here you can, that's what we are doing. So we are querying this particular table based on like, okay, query the asset which user has selected on request and assign the assigned to person similar to requested for, and then update that record.
Okay.
So if I go back on demo table, I just make sure it's correct. So fine. Okay. So this script will just update the assigned to with the requested for of the request.
But we'll have this. Can you open it once?
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of sys ID, we should have this u underscore select dot underscore asset, right, in the second row.
No, that's what we have. We are saying this field exists on which table? This field exists
Yes.
on request table. So I am saying the asset selected in the request table should be queried. So this particular field will return me the sys ID of that asset which exists in this table. So that's what I am saying. Like query the record where the sys ID of asset is similar to the record you selected on the request.
Okay.
Because reference field returns you the sys ID. If you remember, I have showed you, right?
Yes.
So it displays the display value, but when you get it through script, it returns the sys ID of the record which you are referring. So that's what I am saying. Like from this ALM hardware, get the record for which sys ID is similar to what I have selected on this asset. And then this will get queried, and I just want to update the assigned to user of that particular asset similar to requested for. That is what simple glide record query we are trying to update through workflow. And then let's say for the time being, maybe once it is updated, our process is end, and we can close or whatever process according to the customer. So I will go to the request now. And let's submit a new request. We'll select HR, then I will select donor laptop, select maybe this one. So I will save it. Now if current, okay, I have assigned it right now itself. So I will assign it after approval. So first it will go to the approval of manager.
Line manager, right?
Yeah, once manager will approve, it will go to the
IT.
of IT. Then let me show you the workflow of this particular request. So if I copy this,
you can check it from here also, right?
I need to create a UI action that doesn't come out of box. That comes out of box on the request I have to create for this table.
Oh, okay.
So you can see like from workflow context always.
Workflow context, not from workflow editor, right?
No. So context, where it is. So under active context, it should be. If I click here. So see, this is the one which is in executing state. So if I click on show workflow, see, its first level approval is done, second level is done, and now it is waiting for the asset to be assigned to the user.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
that is a fulfillment part, right?
There is a fulfillment part, means I didn't get.
I mean that this is a fulfillment part where they will assign.
Now it's approved. Now support like the ticket assigned to a user. That user need to provide the laptop to the user, right?
Right.
And as soon as he provides the laptop, let me go to this. You need to come back to our request which was raised for this laptop, and once he provide, he need to select here, right, which laptop you have provided to the user.
Okay.
So now if I see this particular asset,
just one question, this asset table that you have selected, that is already existing, right?
Yes,
And
that is out of box asset
is this
management.
is this CI table or different?
It's asset table.
So it's different from CI, right?
Yeah, CI and asset has relation. Yes, table wise it's different, but CI and asset has a relation. So like every computer is a CI, and to track,
Why?
yeah. So that is what. So it's like has a reference to its CI as well. So this is the asset record of this particular computer, and it is referring to a CI record as well. So both has relation. So for a asset, most of the time we create like CI as well.
Hmm.
Okay, so like if you see here, what I was just trying to show you, like right now I didn't assign this asset to the user. So right now it's assigned to this Miranda. This is the user, right? Now, as soon as I assign this asset to my user, it assigned to person should change to the system admin, because now I am giving this laptop to system admin. So now I have saved it, and now if I go to this asset and if I check, see, now it's assigned to system admin. So that kind of automation you may need to do through work. Otherwise, what would happen, like someone need, the user assigned the laptop to that person, and then he is updating in the request. Then after that, he is coming to this asset record, and here also updating, right? So what we,
Manual work.
yeah, manual work. So what we did, we just asked the support group person to select the asset assigned to the user in the request, and the rest other places we will get it updated, because this record also need to be updated. It's very important. Otherwise, there is no meaning of asset management if we are not keeping our asset data up to date. Now, if someone comes and do a audit, okay, this particular asset to which person it is assigned, I can get the information. Okay, this is assigned to this particular person and when it was assigned, right?
Yeah. So in real time scenario, so if suppose I am a user, I am requesting a laptop, right? And it will go to first my manager, and then whatever the IT or something request that I have created, and then the assigned person will give me a laptop of particular brand, for example Dell or something, right? And then see, one laptop will have their unique asset ID. So that in that ID, my name will be attached to it, right? That is the whole flow.
Yeah, that's what we are doing, right? This is the asset which is given to you physically, and the same record of that asset is created in the system to track. So this is the unique ID of that asset. So in the real time, when the asset will be assigned to you, this ID will be tagged on your machine.
This P100.
Yeah.
And is this some configuration item is also unique for this?
Obviously.
So this MacBook Pro 15 is written here, right? So, but there could be multiple laptops of MacBook.
Yeah, but for each laptop there will be a
okay. Yeah. So parent is configuration item will remain same, but asset IDs would be different.
No. Every laptop has like, what is the difference between asset and configuration? Asset tracks the financial information, and configuration tracks the your operational status. So operational status, why we create configuration item for each record? Because we wanted to track what all softwares are installed, what IP address that the machine is using, all those things. So our laptop can have different software and another can have different software. So every asset will have its CI.
Unique.
Obviously, yes.
So for example, here we have MacBook Pro 15. So if suppose there are other MacBook, so there will be different label to this configuration item.
Means I didn't get your question.
I'm saying, if suppose there are multiple laptops of Dell in any company, right? Asset ID will be different. I understand, like everyone, okay? But the configuration item that will also be different for each laptop.
Yes.
But how this configuration item written here, MacBook Pro 15? So there is no number attached to it. So
this is the name. It is linked through relation. This is the name getting displayed. So they have provided the name as like this. So it is getting displayed. Here they have on the CI, they have asset tag as well.
Okay.
So it's something like what name you are providing.
Okay.
So it's kind of, if you will learn asset management end to end, then you will get.
Yeah, right.
So I was just covering as part of like how there could be process, and these are real time processes actually, when
Right.
laptop are getting assigned through catalog, or maybe some customer using some custom app. But these kind of workflow process you will be seeing. So as soon as they are assigning
Okay.
the asset record should get updated, so that we can save the manual work in maintaining the asset and CMDB.
Right.
Okay. So this is how you may use the back uh, wait for conditions, and how you can pass the like script approval through script, how you can update the related records uh, of that table. Like here we seen the example of updating a hardware asset record, and similarly you can like do these things. So this is mainly you will be using server side script, all these server side classes like glide record, and maybe if you want to put the logs and all, then glide system. If you want to trigger the notification also from here, then glide, you may use like event queue and all those things. So it's same. I just
But
wanted to,
generally, what is the recommended way of sending the notification through workflow, or the way which we have discussed
there is
previous
no such
sessions?
recommended, it all depends on your scenario.
So
So
I mean, every different scenario will have a different approach.
yes, you may not be able to fulfill one single request through like one request through all the ways. So that's why ServiceNow provided you multiple ways.
So in case if suppose we need to trigger a notification to the approver here, like
Mhm.
when it is pending for any approver, so do we need to attach a notification also here
No, that
in the
is just,
workflow?
I think ServiceNow out of the box process you get. So you have to define the approvals on the approver table. So
Notification on the approver table, right?
approval goes again into a different table, right? So if
Yes.
you know, so the approval will already be like notification will already be defined on this table. So when, as soon as a new entry comes into this table, the approval will trigger, the notification will trigger to this user. So if you will, even for this request, if you will go to the approval table, you will find a notification
Mm-hmm.
triggered. So sometimes that's what it's kind of generic notification you are defining. So it's defined on the table level. So it is getting triggered on through the triggered condition. As soon as a new record getting inserted in this approval table, uh, notification is getting sent.
So how can we check it through logs?
Yeah, you can go to the email logs and see every time it's sending a notification.
But if you want to see that in the table, can you open approver table first? I want-
You want to see what notification or what?
Yeah, approve in the approval table how they have triggered the notifications for any approval related request.
So it's defined here only. So like there is a business rule written as part of like ServiceNow approval engine. So this business rule is getting triggered when a record is getting inserted into the approval table, and then that business rule is firing this event every time.
Mm.
And by default, it is getting sent to the approver of the approval table. So it's kind of already out of box process. Now, if you want, you can modify the content of this notification.
So because we have taken this approval part from the core activity of workflow, right? So they
Hmm.
have so that's why we use this table, and that's what it triggered, right? Notification.
No, always approval will be going to approver table only.
Yeah, I mean, because since we have selected that core activity of approval, so that is what facilitated that approval process at the back
Yes,
end, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, I think